We are officially 1 year into JOJOLands, part 9 of JoJo's Bizarre Adventures. And so far, we've seen quite a lot of stuff. We've got our favorite mangaka, Rohan, just pop out of nowhere. Jodio over here, who's supposed to be like the first MC that isn't just a good guy. And then all of a sudden, oh my god.
Holy god, what are you showing me? His head. Come on! Open your eyes!
Araki, you can't just dump this guy into this story and say that this isn't Joshu. He looks virtually identical, just aged up like 10 years, and he has glasses and a beard now. I mean, virtually the same character design. You can't jump scare me like this. I'm not gonna forgive you if you tell me that this man over here is actually Joshu and he never gave out his name. I don't want that to be the first real connection that we see with this and JOJOLian. It'd be too painful. Hi y'all, I'm Bayfond, and if this goes the route of JOJOLian, then I've got a hell of a ride waiting for me because, wow, we're only on year 1 and we just finished the first mission. I feel like overall, if you get a good look at all of these chapters so far, they're probably still gonna be considered just the prologue. A potential 1/10 done with the story. Could go even longer if Araki decides to. And it's been quite an interesting start. Out of every part of JoJo, I still feel like this is the most different compared to every other part. We didn't get the whole formation of the group and the reasons as to why they're here. We just know they're here and they're doing the thing that they've probably been doing for quite some time now. And it feels like we're finally getting a little bit more of a grasp on these characters and this entire setting over here. So far, I feel like we haven't seen all too much of Jodio's character as a whole. I mean, he's usually kind of reserved and more quiet in most scenes, and when he's talking, it's because he's fanboying over a certain subject. Whether it be the music he loves or just gushing over Rohan's manga. Those are the only times that we really see him act in ways that aren't necessarily violence. But I've still got a lot of questions because I still want to know a lot more about November Rain, and I want to know more about his internal dialogue that he's got going on. Dragona always seems to be attracting weird people or weird situations. I mean, it feels like they can't get out of him. I feel like they're the one that's received the most amount of damage in the story so far. And I feel like the name Smooth Operators wasn't just a song reference Araki chose, because it seems like this would be fatal for a lot of other characters, but hey, I guess they were to get it fixed. Paco feels like he's just the much bigger brother that just protects everyone. I feel like where the hustle really shines is that it really just lets Paco throw hands. I think he's definitely got a lot of potential to be one of the more interesting members in this group, and he's also the same guy that decided on a whim to say, this guy doesn't fight like a bad guy. Let's adopt him and take him into our group. Which I think is an interesting turn, and again, shows that this is probably the prologue because we're still getting to meet and build up what this initial group is. Then we've got the little freak over here, Usagi, who I just can't unsee wearing pink guy's outfit, even though his official colors are like green, I think, or something like that. Automatically, they're already in that corner of comedic relief, and I think they do their job pretty well. Hopefully, he doesn't develop to become like weird or creepy like Joshu 2.0. That would be considered an ultimate character assassination in my book. And recently, with the most recent chapter, we saw that Araki listens to the Smiths.
I love the Smiths.
Sorry?
I said I love the Smiths.
Now that Charming Man's here, that comment section is never gonna look the same. Rest in peace. And his entire backstory is also kind of revolving around this entire theme of brothers. And what we see over here, Jodio talking to Charming Man, and they bring up music once again. Araki's really consistent when throwing in the names of really popular musicians right now. Again, makes sense to make these two Gen Zers over here big fans of the Billboard Top 100. So we've definitely learned more about these characters. But their chemistry, we just haven't seen it all the way yet. There's only one duo that I can really say is always together, and that's Dragona and Usagi. Because no matter what, it feels like they're always paired up to just be in these weird situations. Stealing a watch, but not really stealing a watch, and then being accused for it? Yeah, they're the duo for that. They also have most of the banter when it comes to raiding Rohan's house. I mean, they're also together so much that Usagi's also confessed to Dragona, just to get turned down. Again, I really hope he doesn't end up like a Joshu. But I feel like, in my opinion, the story has been kind of, not necessarily aimless, but we really don't know anything about anywhere to where it can go. Now it feels like we've got some sort of a better direction, maybe. Or it feels like we're getting someplace. Like I said, it took us a full calendar year to finally finish this first mission. They stole the diamond, they got payment, and now they're telling their boss about what this rock is. Whether that's gonna be like a pain in the ass in the future, or this is gonna help them out right now. I was doing little speculation videos every time a chapter came out to just say, hey, what's coming up next? What's going on in this chapter? And where can we project that everything's gonna go? But then I just decided, why do that when I have no clue about what's happening? Because I can still say that I feel that way. We've got the rock now, they've seen how it works, but how exactly is this gonna play into Jodio becoming wealthy? At first, we thought the entire thing was they were being chased by like an opposing gang or an opposing group that was going after this rock, but then it turned out to just be Charming Man. And yeah, while we still don't know much about him, it seems like he's just there to know more about his brother, who got lost in a pretty suspicious area that seems pretty familiar if you read parts 8 and 7. I mean, just look at this. There are literally elevated holes on the ground. This is easily a callback to the walleyes, something that we still have no clue about what they really are. Aside from its general connection to the Devil's Palm and how it's probably factored in to how characters get their stand abilities in this universe. So when you think about things like who the villains are gonna be in this story, I have a guess, but I don't know if it's gonna be correct. And my guess is that it's gonna be the government slash like authority in this. I feel like there's some sort of connection here that leads me to believe that this is gonna be a story about going up against a corrupt power. In the first few chapters, we see the cops being assholes and just being in general gross and really weird. And when it comes to Charming Man, the search and rescue team was really opposed to wanting to search more for his brother. It seems like maybe they knew a little bit more about what's going on here. They just don't want to get involved too much. Any number of things could be the reason here. They're the only ones so far that seem to have any sort of actual reason to go up against the group. Even though we all pretty much expect there to be rock humans appearing again, Charming Man, you really just can't have us believe that this is a skin condition. I don't even really know how his stand works, but it's some sort of like visual manipulation that also works with sand. The biggest surprise that I feel like I've seen is that they gave back the diamond, and now they're talking to Meryl Mai again. So I guess she's gonna be playing a much bigger role in this than what I originally anticipated, because I was thinking, hey, this character might just be like a one and done kind of thing. Who knows how this story is gonna play out, but I still have my hopes about what I wanna see. Of course, like everyone else, I wanna see Josuke just pop up out of nowhere again. Don't know how, what his connection would be, but I just want to see him again. I want to maybe see him in like a mentor-like position. I would hate for him to be one of the villains. Would be interesting because, you know, Jodio versus a JoJo. Maybe there could be some sort of connection there, but I can't say how the story's gonna go. I've been wrong at every single chapter. But that's fine, because this is JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and you're not supposed to guess what's gonna happen next. If you did, then it probably wouldn't be bizarre. I'll still be reading along month by month like you guys are. And if I don't make another JoJo video after a few chapters or so, then you'll see me again next year. As always, I was Bayfond, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.